Did you know? We've always thought batteries first appeared around 1800, but in fact, as early as over 2,000 years ago, Mesopotamia already had the mysterious Baghdad Battery. Today, we're going to lift the veil on this ancient civilization, exploring its lost technologies and wisdom. Before we begin, if you also enjoy uncovering the secrets of history, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and join us anytime as we unlock more stories of the unknown world. Did you know? We've always believed that the first battery was invented in 1800 by Italian physicist Alessandro Volta. But the truth is far more mysterious than we imagined.
Really? I always thought Alessandro Volta was the father of the battery. Could there really be an even earlier battery?
Actually, back in the 30s AD in ancient Mesopotamia, deep beneath the yellow earth lay a batch of mysterious clay jars known as the Baghdad Batteries. These jars date back more than 1,000 years earlier than the modern invention of the battery. Amazingly, inside the jars were copper cylinders and iron rods. Combined with an acidic liquid, they could generate electricity.
Wow, that's so cool. But could those ancient jars really produce power? How come I've never heard of this before?
The story goes back to 1936. That time, near a village called Qut Rabua on the outskirts of Baghdad, Iraq, workers were digging a railway foundation to build a new line. During the excavation, they unexpectedly unearthed a batch of ancient clay jars from deep underground. First, they looked like ordinary pottery, but hidden within them was a stunning secret.
They dug up batteries while building a railway. That sounds like something straight out of a movie. How did they react at the time?
First, the batch of clay jars didn't attract much attention. The workers carefully set them aside, and the jars lay quietly at the construction site for 2 whole years. It wasn't until 1938, when an Austrian archaeologist and painter named Wilhelm König, working at the Iraq Museum to catalog artifacts, truly realized the extraordinary nature of these jars. When König first examined them closely, he noticed that their internal structure was highly unusual. Each jar contained a copper tube and an iron rod sealed tightly with bitumen. Although the jars looked plain and simple on the outside, they concealed striking traces of advanced technology. This unique setup instantly reminded him of the principles behind modern batteries, leaving him astounded because it suggested that ancient civilizations may have already harnessed the secret of electricity.
So what exactly did he find?
While carefully inspecting the ancient jars, König was shocked to discover that each one housed a small copper cylinder, inside which stood an iron rod, the entire assembly sealed firmly with thick layers of asphalt. This distinctive structure immediately evoked the workings of a modern battery, 2 different metals combined with a conductive liquid to generate an electric current.
No way. You mean something that old was actually a battery? What did König say afterward?
In 1940, Wilhelm König published a groundbreaking paper that stunned the academic world. In it, he boldly proposed that these clay jars found near Baghdad might in fact be prototypes of ancient batteries. He detailed the inner design, a copper cylinder with an inserted iron rod, 2 dissimilar metals working with a liquid to create electricity through electrochemical reactions. König suggested that these were far more than simple containers. They might be solid evidence that ancient people had mastered electrical technology. Even more astonishing, he speculated that these early batteries could have been used for electroplating gold and silver artifacts, making metal surfaces brighter and more durable.
Wow, that idea sounds way ahead of its time. So how did the academic community react back then?
Well, when Wilhelm König proposed the stunning hypothesis that the Baghdad Battery might actually be an ancient battery, the reaction from the scholarly world was surprisingly cold. Many experts raised a series of sharp objections. First of all, if these were really batteries, why were there no wires or conductors found at the site? How could these batteries have been connected to other devices to produce any practical use of electricity? Even more puzzling was the fact that no ancient texts ever mentioned such a technology. If, as Koenig suggested, people of that era truly possessed this advanced knowledge, why didn't they leave behind any written or visual record of it? This lack of evidence made many historians remain skeptical about the existence of ancient batteries.
Those doubts do make sense. So what happened afterward? Was there any further verification?
Through World War II, the debate over the Baghdad Battery continued, until an American engineer from General Electric, Willard Gray, carried out a groundbreaking experiment that added new weight to the discussion. Following Koenig's detailed descriptions, Gray built an exact replica of the ancient clay jar and used grape juice as the electrolyte, a naturally acidic liquid that was very common in ancient Mesopotamia. When he connected the replica's copper cylinder and iron rod to a voltmeter, a surprising result appeared. The needle slowly moved and eventually stabilized at about 0.5 volts. While that amount of voltage seems tiny by modern standards, it nonetheless proved that the ancient jars were indeed capable of generating electricity.
Wait, grape juice as an electrolyte. That's incredible. Was this discovery shocking at the time?
When Willard Gray completed his replica experiment, everyone in the lab held their breath as they watched the voltmeter needle slowly climb and settle at 0.5 volts. In that moment, they were astonished to realize that this ancient device from more than 2,000 years ago truly had the power to generate electricity. This not only challenged our understanding of ancient technology, but also pulled back the curtain on the mystery of the Baghdad Battery. Yet, that was only the beginning of the story. Soon, more scientists and researchers began to investigate, conducting bolder experiments using replicas of the Baghdad Battery. One of the most remarkable tests involved attempting to electroplate small statues. These researchers claimed they succeeded in coating the surface of a figurine with a thin layer of gold, suggesting that ancient civilizations may have already mastered a form of electroplating technology.
Wow, this really feels like uncovering the secrets of an ancient civilization. But I've also heard there's some skepticism, right?
That's right. Experiments and stories about the Baghdad Battery have always faced doubt. What's most puzzling is that many key experiments were never documented with photos or detailed records, adding an extra layer of mystery to the story. People naturally wonder whether these astonishing results were truly as claimed, or if they were simply misunderstandings or exaggerated tales. Even more importantly, many professional archaeologists remain skeptical that these jars were actually batteries. They point out that no ancient texts mention anything like electrical technology, and no wires or other complementary equipment have been found around the jars. Additionally, there's ongoing debate over whether the technology of the time could truly support such advanced electrochemical applications.
So what exactly were these jars then? Are there other explanations?
Archaeologists generally believe that the Baghdad battery jars were more likely used as sealed containers for preserving sacred papyrus documents, rather than as ancient batteries. This view is supported by nearby archaeological finds. For instance, at the Syalk site, researchers discovered containers almost identical to the Baghdad battery jars, which contained remnants of papyrus scrolls. Their design aligns perfectly with the ancient need to protect valuable documents from moisture and damage.
I see, so that changes the function of these artifacts quite a bit. But what about the claims about electroplating?
Experts in metalwork at the British Museum analyzed the ancient gold and silver objects that were thought to have been electroplated, and found that they were actually made using traditional fire gilding techniques, with no evidence of electroplating at all. This research seriously challenges the hypothesis that the Baghdad battery was used as an ancient electroplating tool. Fire gilding is an ancient and widely used method for metal surface treatment, where gold or other metals are fused onto a base surface at high temperatures, forming a durable and attractive metallic layer. This technique was already highly developed in antiquity and could create lavish, long-lasting decorations on gold and silver artifacts.
So, does that mean the whole ancient battery idea is starting to sound like an urban legend?
You could say that, but the story is far from over. After the outbreak of the Iraq War in 2003, the Baghdad National Museum suffered a devastating looting. Priceless artifacts, including the original Baghdad Batteries, mysteriously disappeared. This tragedy was not only a cultural catastrophe for Iraq, but also a huge loss for humanity's shared historical heritage. The disappearance of these jars caused research on the controversial yet highly valuable ancient battery theory to come to a prolonged halt.
What a shame. This isn't just a loss for Iraq, it's a cultural loss for all of humanity.
Exactly. The looting deprived us of a precious opportunity to study these mysterious artifacts using modern scientific methods. Since the original Baghdad batteries vanished during the 2003 war, researchers have had to rely on the few photos and scattered documents taken at the time, making detailed material analysis and experimental verification impossible.
It's such a sad story, but at the same time, it makes me wonder, what other secrets could these ancient jars have been hiding?
The Baghdad battery acts like a mirror, reflecting the intricate interplay between science and history. This enigmatic ancient jar not only challenges our conventional understanding of ancient civilizations but also underscores the fragility of knowledge transmission. It reminds us that history is not a straight line of progress, it is filled with unknowns and possibilities. The existence of the Baghdad battery creates a fascinating collision between modern science and ancient wisdom. It suggests that perhaps our ancestors had already mastered certain technologies that have since been lost, simply because, for various reasons, this knowledge was never fully preserved or passed down through the ages.
Do you think there will be new discoveries in the future that could finally solve this mystery?
I truly believe that day will come. As archaeology and technology continue to advance, many long-buried secrets will eventually surface, revealing the truths of past civilizations. Perhaps in some distant corner, an accidental excavation will uncover shocking new evidence that could completely rewrite our understanding of human history.
That's absolutely fascinating. Now I feel even more inspired to study these ancient artifacts. But tell me, what practical use could such a tiny electric current have had in ancient times?
Some experts speculate that ancient priests may have cleverly used the faint current generated by the Baghdad battery to create a sense of mystery during religious rituals, enhancing awe among worshippers. While weak, the current could produce a mild tingling sensation or subtle vibration on the skin, acting as a secret tool to simulate miracles or supernatural phenomena. Priests could display this divine power to solidify their authority and the believer's faith. Additionally, some scholars suggest that ancient civilizations may have experimented with using electricity for therapeutic purposes, inspired by electric fish in nature. These fish release electrical currents to hunt or defend themselves. Observing this, ancient people might have tried similar devices to relieve pain or promote healing.
Wow, imagine someone back then touching this device and feeling the electricity. That must have felt truly magical.
In ancient civilizations, the fusion of technology and faith created countless mysterious and awe-inspiring rituals. Artifacts like the Baghdad battery are perfect examples of this interplay. When a faint electric current was skillfully applied in religious ceremonies, it not only heightened the sacred atmosphere but also convinced participants that the power came directly from the gods, strengthening both faith and authority.
So, what do you think this story teaches us modern people?
The wisdom of ancient people often surpasses our imagination, and the Baghdad battery is the perfect example. These ancient jars may not have been purely batteries, but they showcase the astonishing creativity of ancient civilizations in science and technology. They remind us not to underestimate the intelligence of people in the past. It is precisely this forgotten or not yet fully understood knowledge that forms the foundation of human civilization and inspires the development of modern technology.
We should cherish and protect cultural heritage even more. That way, future generations will have the chance to understand these historical truths.
Exactly. The Baghdad battery isn't just a historical mystery, It sparks curiosity about the unknown and fosters a love for science and history. That's its true value.
Thank you for sharing such an amazing story. It really gave me a whole new perspective on ancient civilizations and batteries.
You're welcome. If you're interested in these mysterious ancient civilizations, we can share even more stories like this next time.
That's awesome, I can't wait. And if you enjoy exploring these mythic tales, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to take you on journeys into the unknown.